if your smoker is starting to seep, see how it's seeping right down in here? That's your gasket that has gone bad. And we're going to show you how to replace a gasket. This is the tools that we're going to use to replace a gasket on a medium big green egg. We do have a straight razor, a razor to cut the gasket with. Here's the gasket. We have a little bit of a scraper to scrape some of the old gasket off. Gloves to help keep your hands clean. I got charcoal in there and I'm going to have to take everything out. A little broom, some steel wool, bucket to put the old charcoal in, acetone to wipe down the egg just before I put the new seal on there, so we make sure that all the grease and everything is gone. All right, so here's where the old seal is. You can see how it's pitted and badly chipped and all that. It's just not getting a good seal surface. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean everything out of there. We're gonna take the bands off of both pieces so that they're two separate pieces. All right, so we're gonna take everything out of the egg, all the parts and pieces, the fire ring, the fire box, all the charcoal and everything. All right, we got everything out. We're just gonna get the rest of this ash and a little bit of charcoal that was left in there out of the egg. We're using just a little whisk broom just to sweep that bottom, get it clean. All right, so now we're gonna take the banding off. The banding is the part that holds the top to the bottom. We're gonna take these two bolts off right here. You can see they are twisted a little bit. That is what you wanna do when you torque them back down. You want that bolt to bend a little bit. But we're gonna take these two bands off so we can separate the bottom from the top. And it's just these two nuts. All right, I've gotten the bolts loose. I can twist them by hand. So now you just get the top, reach your hand inside and just support it from the bottom. And you just pick that right up off of there. Turn it upside down. And now you get a real good look. We're missing a big chunk of gasket right here from all the different cooks and all that stuff. But you can see how it's cracked across here and it's just not getting a good seal. And then you're gonna come back over here to your egg. You're gonna grab your band and just pull it up, and there's the bands. Just place those off to the side. And then you can see this one, how it's not even sealed right there. So now we're just gonna go through, we're gonna get a scrape blade, and we're just gonna kind of lightly scrape this band. Just to kind of get the old stuff off. You're not digging real hard. You don't want to scrape the top edge of this. That's what we got, the acetone and some razor blades to scrape with. This just kind of takes big chunks off. You just go around lightly. So we got most of the gasket off. You can see all the mess on the floor. I'll move this out of the way a little bit. You can kind of see how we kind of chipped it away. There's some inside the egg. Now we're going to go to our straight razor and we're just going to kind of go around and get the rest of this glue off that's on here. And like I said, you're not pressing down real hard. You're just going across the thing, trying to get most of the glue and gasket off of there. That's why we got the acetone, is going to help get the rest of that off of there. You can kind of feel where there's some little bit of gasket left and all that stuff, because it doesn't just glide right over it. You just work in that area, just get that off. You're just trying to clean it up so that the mating surface from the seal to this is good. All right guys, we got it scraped off with the razor blade, really nice. It's got, not very rough whatsoever. We're gonna just use some steel wool and just lightly go around it just to take a little bit extra off. The ceramics of the egg itself is not a very smooth surface. It is a pitted surface, and then you have the model numbers and big green egg logos that are stamped into the edges. So you're just going to go around, just lightly lightly do it. Remember, this is steel wool, so you will have to get a vacuum out your egg really good after you get this done. But this just helps get a better surface for the seal to seat to the egg. Since you've already used it, it's already got grease on it and all that stuff. You're just kind of cleaning it up a little bit more. But it is a 4/0 steel wool, so it's not the real rough kind. You're not going to damage the ceramics. You don't want to push down real hard on it. Just a light pressure and just kind of go around. We got this scraped down, looks good. We're going to use some acetone. We're just going to wipe this seal down some, just to clean all the grease and grime away. This stuff evaporates really quick. Doesn't leave any greasy residue for our seal. You can see how it just cleans it right on up. All right, we got it wiped down with acetone. Looks real clean through here, smooth all the way around. So we're gonna go to the top. We're gonna take the top and we're just gonna set it right down inside of the egg. That gives us a little work surface to hold on. Sometimes I'll put it in my lap, but when you get to the bigger ones, the large, the extra large, just turn it upside down and place it in there, and then you'll be able to work on it. Again, we're just gonna go around lightly, take the bulk of the gasket off. Comes off rather easy. All right, so we got this one done. We did the exact same thing that we did to our bottom. We did to the top. We scraped it. We went around and wiped it down with acetone. It looks real clean now and all that stuff. If you want, while you're in here, if you've used your egg a lot, you can just go around just lightly, scrape some of this carbon that's built up in here. You're not scraping hard. You're just barely running this thing across here, and it'll just clean it up a little bit. Next is we're going to take our gasket out of our box, and we're just going to stretch it out, unroll it, let it start releasing from its curve that it's been in. Okay, so we got our inside scraped down a little bit. You can see the inside and outside I just scraped when it was sitting on top of the bottom. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get the vacuum. We're gonna vacuum all that stuff out of there, get it all nice and clean, and then we will wipe around the edge one more time with acetone just before we put the seal on there. We do have the seal laying out flat, trying to get especially where it first starts to wheel up in itself, trying to get that uncramped so it doesn't, fold up on us when we're sticking it down onto the egg itself. As you can see, it comes in one long piece. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sit there and real fast just dry fit it on here. Just going around. We're just going to cut it a little long. So it's a little less than halfway. As you can see, the one end is a little bit longer, but we're going to take this and just cut this, get a clean cut on this using our utility knife. It's really easy to cut. Just put it down, hold both sides, and just make a couple of cut marks on it. Put the seam in the back, but we want to offset it, and we're going to offset it on both sides so that the two seams do not line up when we put the top and the bottom together. So we're going to start right about here, and we're just going to peel a little of this back paper off. We're not going to peel a lot of it because we got to as we put it down and tape it, we have to fit it onto that egg. And we're just going to work it around, pressing it down. It's got a little adhesive on it. We're just going to work it around and just pull a little bit and place it. Rub out, because we are going in kind of a circle, kind of just rub down. The felt will feel its way out. Rub the curves down. All right, you just want to make sure that you don't crease it real bad. It is going to have some creases in it because we are coming around a circle. After you do a little bit, just rub your thumb down there on there. All right, we're just about to the end. We're just going to cut this off right here. You see I did go a little bit long. What we're going to do is we're going to mate this around, and then we're going to make a clean cut through both pieces so that they fold back down inside it and make a real tight seal right there in between them. So we're going to peel this back a little bit. And that's why I wasn't too worried about when I cut the other one a little jagged. I knew I was going to cut that off and peel it off. So now I'm going to get a straight blade razor that's nice and fresh. All right, I got a straight blade razor blade. I'm just going to overlap these just a little bit, and I'm just going to saw them back and forth. Cutting right down through there. Peel the old one off, the bottom part of it. And then I'm just gonna put that one right down in there. Work that seal together, pushing the felt together. And there you go. Perfectly sealed. Now we're going to go around and we're just going to rub this seal, not real hard, but we're just putting pressure down just so that that adhesive makes contact all the way around this egg. And I have found that if you, first couple of times when you use the egg, do not bring it up to high temp. Don't go over 400 degrees. I like to stay around 300, 350 on the first two cooks, so plan something to cook that you're gonna do around 300 to 350. That kind of sets the seal, especially at Eggtoberfest. We cook Eggtoberfest a lot. And if you go there and you cook it real hard, because those seals have just been put on there, you'll see that the felts will stick together and come away from either the top or the bottom. So we pulled the top off because we did have it nestled down in there. Some of y'all might have thought, leaving it in the egg and twisting it in the egg, it might damage it. It does not damage the ceramic. You're not forcefully shoving it in there or anything like that. So it doesn't hurt the top of it whatsoever. Going to put the bands back onto the bottom of it, spread them apart, work them down on there. We're going to orient it to where the handle is down in the center of the air intake, and the back is down there. And then we're just going to kind of push that down a little bit, and then we're going to get our top and we're going to set in there and let it orientate where it needs to be. So we got the top, place it in there. There you go, and now all we're going to do is tighten these two bolts down. So we'll sit down in our chair and start tightening bolts. And it's just these two that we took off, so we're going to do the bottom one first. All right, we tightened them down just a little bit, not all the way that we need to go. So now we want to go make sure that the band is up on the two places. And as you can see, this one, the top band is down a little bit. So we just want to pick it up. It's not really snug on the egg yet. It's just kind of attached. All right, you can see how the two bands are touching right there. You don't want them touching. You want them up. You want to be able to see that gasket through there. So you're just going to reach around and just kind of align those bands together. Go up, make sure your bottom band is down where it needs to be. And I'll just hit the top so it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to the top rims that you see here. The bottom should be sitting on that bottom rim. The top doesn't necessarily have to be down there. But you want to align it. If you see back here in the back, the gap that's in between there, that's what you want all the way around there. That's about the thickness of the seal that you've just replaced. So we've got that all the way around the egg. So now we're going to tighten these bolts down and get them really tight. You might think that, especially if it's the first time that you've worked on an egg, that you're going to break it because you're tightening them so much. Remember, these bolts need to bend. It's very scary because I know they're a lot of money, but you need to make this tight so that when you open your lid, the top doesn't go flying across. So we're going to tighten these down. You want to tighten the top, you want to tighten the bottom together. All right, then we're just going to open it up. We're going to be careful, just make sure that we got them tight enough. I would hold your egg. And it seems to be opening really nice. All right, so now we're going to test and make sure that we got the two bands aligned and the seal, and it's sitting flat down on there. We're going to just take a dollar bill and we're just going to go around. We'll shut it on there, and you should feel some resistance pulling that dollar bill out. We're just going to go around the whole grill. You can hear it kind of sliding through there. You see here, but I get back to the back, It slides out real easy. There's no tug on it. So I don't have this aligned all the way right here. So I'm going to loosen the top up, and we're going to push this seal down a little bit to get it back down on there. So I've loosened the top bolt. I'm just going to push down on the egg and lift up on the hinge just a little bit, and then we're going to retighten it, and we'll do the dollar test again. It's just a process you have to go around just to make sure that the two bands are aligned and your top is aligned. Okay, we'll get the dollar bill back out. We'll test it. Little tug on there. Little tug. Little tug. Tug. Little tug, and then we're going to go right in the back. See? Alright, so that's how you replace the gasket on a medium big green egg. The large, the extra large, the mini max, the small, they're all the same. It's the same process that you're going to do. If you found this video helpful, please click the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for our upcoming videos on barbecue and the big green egg and gravity fed smokers. Or you could sign up and go to our website, smokingjaysbarbecue.com.